Hey friends, welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. I'm Jen. Today we're in the kitchen and we are going to make some homemade barbecue sauce to can to put up for the winter months. This is something I have never done and something that I've always wanted to try. So today we're going to try it out. We're going to bottle our own barbecue sauce and I'm going to bring you along just to see if it turns out as good as we are hoping. So here goes. All right, so lots going on in the background. The canner's going because I'm making round 2 of pizza sauce. Lots of tomato projects have been accomplished this summer, which is such a blessing. And today I'm gonna try something brand new that I've never tried before. We're going to attempt to make our own barbecue sauce and we're gonna can that. So we have some barbecue sauce in our pantry. Now, I could make this from our tomatoes that we grew in the garden, but I would have to take it into many different steps. Like I'd have to make tomato sauce or ketchup and then use that to make the barbecue sauce. So I just opted to use store-bought ketchup this year and just kind of see if this is something that we want to continue. And then next year, if we do choose to continue it, we'll make everything from our own tomatoes. So I just wanted to make sure I maximize our tomatoes and use them on recipes that we already knew we liked and would use. So first thing we're gonna do, and I am gonna cut this original recipe in half, and I will link that in the description box below, because I don't know if I necessarily want the 13 pints that it says that recipe makes, you know, since we're just trying it for the first time. If we like it, next time we'll do it, we'll make sure that we make the 13 pints. So hopefully we'll get about 6 pints out of this, but I'm gonna start out with 3.5 pounds of ketchup. And so for me, I got, this one is 38 ounces, 2 38-ounce size ketchups was right about that 3.5 pound mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and empty this into our nice big stock pot. Run a little bit of water down in that, just to, not much, just a little bit, just to try to get the rest of that ketchup out of the bottle. We don't want to make it too watery. But I really don't like to leave a lot of ketchup behind. Are y'all like that? I like to make sure I get everything that I can out. Okay, that's one down. Really excited to try this recipe. This is something that we go through. I try to think this year what are tomato products that we go through a lot, and of course pizza sauce, salsa, but we also go through a lot of barbecue sauce. Now spaghetti sauce is something that we go through a lot of as well. This year we just decided not to make spaghetti sauce. All right, next we're going to add 1 cup of Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna add 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. Next we're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper. Next, I'm adding 1 cup of white sugar. And I'm going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I'll go ahead and whisk this together a little before I add in my water. And then our final ingredient is 5 cups of water. Definitely smelling like barbecue sauce. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna heat our barbecue sauce up. We're gonna bring it to a boil. And then once we get it to a boil, we're going to turn down the heat and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Okay, so I may have told you wrong. So we're going to bring our barbecue sauce to a boil, which you can see that it's coming to a nice boil now, and you're gonna let it cook for about 10 minutes. Then after it cooks for 10 minutes, we're gonna turn it down to medium heat and let it cook for 30 more minutes. So I'm gonna stay close by. I need to knock that down in a minute. There we go. I want to watch this, make sure that we stir it a couple of times. We don't want it to burn, and I'm afraid that it would do that very easily at this high heat for that long period of time. So I'll bring you back in about 10 minutes. We'll turn the heat down and we'll see what the consistency is looking like. All right, we let this cook for about 10 minutes. You can see it is bubbling and it has reduced quite a bit. So I'm gonna turn it down to about a 4 setting and see if it will continue to cook. It says to turn down to medium heat, but I don't want it to reduce too much, so I'm gonna turn it down in between maybe a 4 and a 5, and we'll let that cook for 30 more minutes. All right, we have hit our 30-minute mark of cooking, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. Y'all, this is looking and smelling delicious, and I'm beginning to think that maybe we should have just went ahead and doubled that recipe. You can hear my canner heating up in the background. But I am going to give this a taste test, and we'll check our spices and see if there's anything that we need to add. First, I am gonna let it cool off just a tad, as I would like to keep my tongue intact. Okay, so I'm not sure you can hear me with the canner in the background, but I came to the conclusion that the sauce has more of a vinegar taste. It's got a little bit of a twang to it, and I actually like it. It's unlike our typical sauces that we buy, which are a little bit sweeter. So I wish I had someone else here to taste it for me, just to see, just to get a second opinion. So I'm still not sure if I want to add any sugar to it. I may keep this batch just like this. If we ever do another one, I might add more sugar to that, and then we can have a choice between a more vinegar-based and a sweeter barbecue sauce. All right, so I'm making the decision to add some brown sugar to this. I'm adding about 1/3 of a cup. I did get Alex to taste it, and he felt like it needed to be a little bit sweeter. And it really had a very tomatoey taste to it. So I thought, you know, the sweetness of that brown sugar with the molasses would probably be better than just the pure white sugar. So I'm gonna add that, give it another taste, and see where we are. Thank you all for joining me today for this video. I hope that you got some inspiration to see that some things that we put off because we think are a little complicated might not be as complicated as we anticipate. I'm speaking to myself, but a lot of times I'll put off things, I'll procrastinate thinking, oh, this job's gonna be so hard. And then when I actually just sit down, take the time to do it, I find that the hard part was getting started. So start where you are today. If there's something that you've been putting off, a project, maybe it's as simple as trying a new recipe or cleaning out a closet, just get up and do that thing and you'll see that it's not as complicated as sometimes we make things out to be. So hopefully you'll try that barbecue sauce. If you do, let me know if you like it, and you'll have to leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for being here and watching today. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like so that you can see more content here on YouTube and share it with your friends. I love meeting new people, so let me know where you're watching from. And until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, enjoy the moments you've been given, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.